Again, and welcome back. So this time I'm not even going to pretend to do an EVA. As you can see, I did a little bit of save file surgery, and this contract is now acceptable again, and boy are we low on funds. So, that pays a fair amount. And we probably should have done that on the last flight. But we should bring some extended life support. What else could we pick? Because we need a little bit of spending cash to afford to do the lunar lander that will give us some actual money. That doesn't pay a lot. That pays a fair amount. I feel like we'll get lunar rated heat shields fairly soon, but we'll need quite a rocket to do that. So no. We don't have the stuff to do that. The transit to Jupiter is probably nearly the length of that contract. So it remains tempting to do this and invest much of the... So the nice thing is, if we accept both of these, then we can use some of the advance to pay for the R&D, and then the remaining 1.6 million to pay for enough R&D point upgrades that this tech will unlock fast enough that we have a shot of doing it in 2 years. The problem being that we're going to have to unlock Gemini quite soon in order to have people training on it. Because my guess is proficiency training on it is going to take an awful long time. So let's take a look at our courses. $260 days. Yeah, so there's no... That's odd. I thought that Astronaut Complex had a multiplier to course duration. But apparently not. So I gotta fix that at some point. Yeah, Catherine Hall is clearly going to be our Gemini pilot. The rest of them are going to be retiring. Unless Bobby Carter flew a mission in short order. But I feel like that's... I guess we could try to do a 2-day mission. Yeah, let's have a look at what we can do to Dolphin to rate it for a 2-day mission. Yeah, that's way higher launch cost than the actual cost we paid. Alright, let's see what we can do. Step 1, look at SM2 tooling. 0.7 by 0.4 is the only tooling we have for it. So... bunch of liters of stuff available, so let's just double everything. That's about right. And then there. That should be enough for 2 days. Easily. Yes, that's now 4 days. And we can dump all the waste over the side. Yep, going for a 2-day duration. Hey Maximal, good to see you. Yay, these finally unlocked. However, we can't really afford the unlock cost, so we're going to use these. Ooh, those are expensive. 350 versus 200 for these. And what's the wattage? 178 watts. All right. Well, let's see what we get if we... No, I guess we're stuck using these. And this needs to be hydrazine. All right, let's put everything back together. And these need a bit more extra height. That'll do. All right, so that shaved a bunch of money off the cost. And we still have a decently capable launch vehicle. Now what's untooled? Probably just the stringers. Oh, service module. Uh-oh. I thought I made it the right size. No, I didn't. Now they're tooled. All right, 723 by 412. All right. Do we need a third one? Nah, we'll be fine. Let's retract those, and we're good to go. Not a whole lot of delta V there, but them's the brakes. Hey, Pat. Yeah, the fact that the interstage is egg-shaped is kind of weird. But We can give it a little bit, well, no, not meaningfully more delta V by switching to only one of those thrusters, but we'll keep the two thrusters. Okay. All right, that will do. Now let's check this again. Yes, now it's just those things. Oh, we didn't change that much because the length tooling cost is actually quite cheap. But whatever. This is fine. This is all fine. So, staging checks. Main engines, clamps, hot stage, retros. The abort tower goes. That, upper retros, engine ignite, RCS on. That. Staging looks fine. All right. So we're going to launch one of these to do a duration record because it's fairly cheap. So we want orbital flight 1 crew. So yeah, the payout on this probably needs to be up to like 50 or 60K each. All right, it will be done in 85 days. And its launch cost was uh, 27 something. And our maintenance costs in that time will be 20K. So we'll be down. Yeah, so we'll have about 60 in the bank after we launch, so it better all work. We also need to do a lunar lander. And I think I want to do the cheapest possible lunar lander. Which will involve grabbing this. because these are now H1s. And then swapping out the hydrolox stage for a cheaper stage. A much, much cheaper stage. Because that is a very high launch cost. So let's do that. So you go away. And you go away. And oh, except does this have the wrong? Avionics? Yes, it does. Is that wrong? Yes, that's wrong. That's very wrong. Eventually we'll find the right thing. I guess I'll just manually remake it then. It's somewhere in here. We'll get it from here. Yeah, that would require me having wheels, which I don't. That is the wrong avionics unit. And these are also set to peroxide. Let's find it in here somewhere. It's probably this. Oops. Wrong button. All right. Yes, it is this, because this is hydrazine. Good. Just we need to swap the engine for the right engine. Okay. Now, this is going to be expensive because we're going to need custom fairings. 2.243. Well, that looks very Aegina. I bet those are going to cost a lot. Oh. Yeah. So, like 600 funds more than I otherwise would be paying. But that's fine. We're not going to commit yet because let's see. Top needs to be 2.438. Extra height. Let's bring it right down on top of the tank. All right. So that's not tooled yet. So let's raise it up a little bit and see if that makes it tooled. Raise it up a little more. At some point we will hit the point. Yes, now it's tooled. Cool. Probably shouldn't be able to do that, but all right. Oops, wrong way. We'll hot stage that too. Now we don't actually need ullage motors anymore. Fairing SEP should occur down here. All right, that should be quite enough. And that saved almost $10 million. I guess we should have tooled the stringers last time. Right. So the relevant question before us is, are we ever going to need this fairing again? I don't actually know. Let's do some math. 3601 plus 4263 plus 4612 is 12476 minus how long do we think how much it'll take to get to orbit? 9200 is 32. Yes, so this is, so we didn't even have to use hydrolocks on this thing, is the answer. Well, now that it's upgraded, we don't. Probably the non-uprated Doberman we did. But for this thing, we'll be fine without hydrolocks. So this is, that goes away. This is 280 tons. This is basically about what the original R7 weighed. Costs a pretty penny, but the launch cost is not too bad. It's only 2.5 times. Oh, but it's to the wrong pad, so it's actually going to be higher than that, probably. Yes, another $3 million. All right, so let's Let's merge back in the other thing to get the fairing diameter, because I want those to be 10-foot fairings. All right. 2.804. Oh, let's do this. Apparently you can't click on... Alright, whatever. Cylinder start should be... .61, and cylinder end, what's a good thing? 3.66, let's try that. All right, is anything sticking out? No. All right, it just barely fits inside the thing. I feel like that's probably sufficient. Well, I mean, we have the capacity, so let's go a little longer. 4.267. Okay. And let's try to get back to... Yeah. All right. So let's tool these. They're not that expensive. Okay. Final staging check. Plonk, 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 plonk. We're going to put the RCS down here, so we don't need that extra stage. All right. And the one other thing I was going to do, because we clearly have a bit of excess, so how much is it going to take to get to orbit? About 4 minutes? Yeah, so say 9,200. $42.63. $32.75. Yes, so we have some excess TLI capacity. So let's add battery. We want about 468 up there. So let's get a little less hydrazine. put a bunch of electric charge in here. All right, that looks fine to me. Actually, that looks not so fine to me. No, actually, that is right. That's fine. Because yeah, that leaves plenty to land. Okay, we're all good. Just not mathing right. All right, so that should give us a decent cushion on the dark side. Good, we extended the fairing lengths. Hey, Tyson. All right. Do we have any untooled parts? Oh, that's not tooled. But it only costs a little bit more. So that, who cares? From extending it, it got. But at least we had that diameter tooled, so that's cool. All right. So let's build this as mite and save it as mite 5. And build it. Just do a final check. $12,440 minus 9,200 is 3,240. Yes, we have enough delta V for a TLI. All right. There we go. Okay. Well, we have to do this first, and then they both have about the same return on investment. 185 versus 175. All right, I guess we can do the lunar. Well, I want to do the dolphin first, I think. All right, and this is still reordered so we can get Gemini quickly, now that I added Gemini. And there's some SST Soyuz parts. But we'll stick with Gemini. PAP, they're alphabetical. So we started with Akita and no particular upper, and I forget what, I guess Abyssinian was the cat. So dogs are boosters and cats are uppers. So we have, then we had Corgi, which was that lower stage. Bobcat was the thing that had the AJ10. Cheshire is that X405 stage. Doberman is the 4 LR79, now 4H1 thing. I never came up with the cat name. Yeah, this is a challenge for you in chat. Come up with a cat name for the centaur-like stage. That really should be start with a D, but there aren't any cats that start with D, and apparently aren't any cats that start with E either. Or so, like, please come up with a cat name for that stage. All right, it looks like we're gonna yeah, it looks like we're going to have to deal with these things first. All right, I guess it's now called a Devon stage. All right, let's get rid of some of these. All right, down we go. All right, let's do our Venus flyby. All right, so let's reorient to look at the sun. And we're having to fizz warp because persistent rotation is behaving oddly. Meanwhile, let's look at where the Earth is. The Earth is over there, so we want to come in on that side of Venus. Which side of Venus are we coming in on? Presumably the wrong side. Local to bodies. Let's look. We're coming down from above. On the wrong side. So let's create a maneuver. And let's see what happens. enter, yeah. All right, that really doesn't do a whole lot for us. It could make things slightly better. So, I mean, let's go ahead and do that, but it won't actually do a lot. Just because we are coming in from above. What is its atmosphere height? $145. All right, let's try that. We'll try getting a little bit of atmospheric science. All right. So we cleaned that up. Let's just add an SOI alarm. All right, so aphid 4 is going to enter first. So let's just align with the sun. Which we are notably not right now. Flip all the way around. Okay, that's good enough. We'll have to remake that maneuver again because I'm sure that that messed things up. Yes, it did. Okay. Right, let's do this. Okay, it's time to do some science. So we'll do a biosample from high. And then all all the other things. And boy, are we going to get a lot of science. Let's add an... Oh, no, you can't add an altitude alarm. Dang. Well, we can sort of fake add it. At an altitude of 5,000 kilometers. And then we'll add a maneuver node for that. And then kill the node because we don't actually care. Yeah, we do need to nerf science. We really kind of do. Because what do we have now? Oh, not as much science as I expected. Well, we're in space high. How did we not get... it doesn't matter. Anyway. I guess we'll go to the other one. This is like the Mariners, where the later number one arrived first. All right, I guess first step is let's orient our solar panels. And focus on Venus. And the approaches of our two probes are very, very similar. So we're going to make this come out the other way. Is it? No. No. We're just going to do some funny things. How do we not have a... All right. All right. All right, we have a decent periapsis now. And I believe the solar orientation needs to come over here. Yes, that will do. All right. That'll do. So we have a slightly different approach vector, but it's broadly the same as the other one. All right. And SOI is in an hour. All right, let's just warp through that. I thought it was in an hour. Was it in 2 hours? I guess it was in 2 hours. All right. What the heck science did that give us? Maybe the biosample? Oh. No, apparently that wasn't transmitted. Wait, is that biome specific? It can't be. It is biome specific. Interesting. All right, let's get our 5,000 kilometer node. And we're coming in slightly faster than aphid 4 is. That's hilarious. I guess because we burned all that extra. All right. In we come. Coming in from way high. Yeah, I would turn that off for space high. No wonder the science payouts are so high. Ugh. Huh. Great. They're gonna shoot. All right. Well, let's see what we can do here that won't significantly change our periapsis. So first of all, how much hydrazine do we have left? Quite a bit. All right, so let's... And then minus... All right. Four hours and 24 minutes. That sounds better. So if we burn at that angle, we should be okay. Because we need to make sure we do this pass before aphid 4 does its periapsis pass. All right. The wonder of orbital mechanics. All right, we're going to fizz warp to make that run a little faster, given that it is a 2-minute burn. How are we doing over here? We still have plenty of hydrazine. Life would be nicer if MechJeb gave me delta V stats for RCS. Whoop. MechJeb, why you MechJeb? Because the node started jumping all over everywhere. All right, and we want to go radial plus. All right, that's fairly decent. All right, time to periapsis, 4 hours and 19 minutes. So 6 minutes. We'll hit this 6 minutes before aphid 4 even comes to flying low. How are we doing on hydrazine? Still got a fair amount. We can come in even faster. let's do a cool 10 minutes. All right, that's 10 minutes before. And that still leaves a little bit of reserve hydrazine. Good. Get rid of that. This reminds me of when I used to do Mars landers and orbiters together, and you have to time things very carefully after separation, because the orbiter needs to be overhead while the lander is landing, because the orbiter has the dish. Okay. That is even getting some sunlight, so that should be fine. Okay. All right. Now let's come in and do this. Clearly I have to orbit the moon with a TV camera. That will give me some more science. There's Venus. Screenshot. Annoyingly, we'll come in on the dark side, but happily it doesn't matter for science. All right. And we're not going to do the biosample because we're going to wait. Here's Earth. So we'll probably lose comms right at periapsis. Apparently we're now blocked by Venus. Blowfish, it does take a lot to capture. I have 500 meters per second. It takes about 2 kilometers a second to capture, I think. Does it? Well, let's find out how much it takes to capture. Because maybe I should capture with the other one. No. Not going to happen. So I'm about 300 meters per second short to capture. I forgot how easy it was to capture. I was thinking it was like 2 kmsec, but it's not. It's only about 1 kmsec. Yeah, on an idealized... Wait, what? Yeah, that would be an idealized transfer. No way, no how is it 300 something meters per second. I would expect... For a decent capture, I would expect about 1 kmsec. What was was I doing? Oh yes, I was bringing up this window. So that when we're out of comms, I can transfer things into the core as needed. $2,000 kilometers up. And we still have comms, so let's send the things while we still have comms. We're coming in fast. Wish it was a prettier flyby, but it's basically just all blackness. All right, our descent rate is slowing. Hey, we got some stuff. Mountains. Welcome back, Venice. Here we come into the atmosphere. Hope we don't burn up. And lost all comms. So. Missed while I was transferring science. Oh well. Biological sample. But we already did it. All right. By a couple thousand kilometers, we should... Hey, at least we have sunlight again. There's the sun. There's Venus. All right. But we are well and truly blocked. From comms. look at what comms are we trying to do. The Earth is there. All right, so we almost have comms. Let's rock over to this one. Get some science if we can. All right, so first off, this was not used and this was not used. Space near. So we're going to transmit one of these. And that leaves us one biocapsule spare, but whatever. PAP, as a general rule, I'm not in favor of... given my preference, I would prefer to just have the milestones contracts and maybe some repeatables for money, rather than having contracts exist as a way to fuel progression. Like, contracts should be a way to pay for progression in the general sense, rather than to pay for each step of progression. Like, you should never feel like you have to have a contract to do a thing, and you should never feel like you have to have already done a different contract to do a thing, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, the one big exception is, you're right, is the one big exception is that we do require you to do uncrewed stuff before you unlock crewed stuff, and we require you to, but like, those are basic, those, to me, those are milestone contracts, rather than like more bread and butter contracts. But it's a fine line. You're not wrong. See if we get some science at some point on this approach. Lol, no. So this is not giving us anything because we've been over the same biomes. But we launched backup just in case. Alright, we're going to lower our approach altitude a little bit. Stick in the atmosphere a little longer. Alright, let's see what we got. Help. Shoot. Alright, that gives us a little bit more. Alright, so we got a tiny little bit more from doing that. path, ultimately, yeah, that would be the best. But that's sort of hard to do. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I would say it comes back to what do you expect out of RP-1. If you expect out of it something that leans more heavily on the actual mission design and mission flying side, or if you expect something that leans more heavily on the program management side. If you care more about the program management side, then as I guess I do, then you care more about milestones and less about any specific contract. But if you like dealing with specific challenge, like the micro engineering and flight challenges, then having more contracts does work pretty well. Um, oh, hey, we're connected again. That's cool. Uh, review store data. Transmit all the things. I think it may also just be that I have launched so many things into so many orbits over time that launching something into yet another orbit is not that interesting to me, unless it's a very particular engineering challenge. So that's probably also, so for somebody who hasn't played as much RO, RP, whatever as I have, then I think the contract model would make more sense. All right, so let's jump back to this thing and send away its science. All right. Where are you? You are here. Review store data. Transmit all the things. Uh-oh, I really hope I didn't lose all the science from the other thing when I changed to it. But let's make this debris, because we're not going to get anything else from it. And let's switch back to you and see if there's still any. So maximum, I totally agree with you. They can ask for more than that, but this was the case of relays and navsats and comm constellations we were talking about. I mean, like, obviously, yes, there should be lunar landing and other body flyby and landing contracts, but no, I mean, I'm just sitting here waiting for science to develop. It really distracted me. It looks like all the things got transmitted from this, or at least all the data is gone, so there's nothing else to be done. Hopefully I didn't lose any science, but we're going to orbit Venus eventually, so we won't have actually lost anything. All right, that is now junk. We now have an awful lot of science that we can't spend. Okay, so at least we got some money. Venus flyby. That gave us a good chunk of change. So now we're back in the black. That's the Mercury launch in 31 days. Dolphin in 28 days. I think this is supposed to be Dolphin 3 or Dolphin 4. I can't remember. I think it's Dolphin 3. When's the next Venus window? A little over a year. With a half-year transit. Huh? Oh, that's Vesta, not Venus. That makes much more sense. Okay. Venus orbit. 4 years? Yeah, we'll take it. And it'll give us some more cash. Back up to 5 contracts. Yeah, Pap, I think the thing will be to like catalog all the stuff, and then we can pick the ones that are interesting and discard the ones that are too similar to the others. And that should give us a decent set of example situations. Can you help what? Okay. Well, I guess there's not much to be done other than going to Mercury. Well, finally doing that duration mission, I guess, is step 1, and then going to Mercury. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, sure enough. That's not what the... So that claims 27.4 million. Is that going to be correct? Let's find out. And we'll also fix the scatterer bug. I think it's scatterer. Oh, it doesn't tell you the launch cost in here? That's weird. Let's see what, if we go into it normally now, what the thing is going to show up as. It should be 27 million. Yes, that's fixed. Thank you, CMAV. All right, let's fly the mission. 8 days to roll out. So we'll have to start rolling out the other thing. Good we have a bunch of money, because that's an expensive rollout for sure. That is quite expensive. Dat Hydrolox. Wait, what? How is it a 21-day rollout? That can't be right. Also, how is it 50 million megadoodly-doos? Let's look. Interesting. It's because for some reason the price of this changed. So its build points changed. Interesting. This is what I get for modding while playing, or playing while modding. Alright, well. Alright, let's see what its actual predicted rollout cost is. That'll tell me the difference in the build points, and then I can just hack the save file and fix it. No, the launch cost is correct. Just the build cost is different, I guess. Launch cost is still 50 million. Weird. Well, I guess what we're going to have to do then is buy some upgrades. That's better. And that still leaves us a fair cushion. So, yeah. All right, I guess that's what we're doing. Actually, we're going to fly that mission, and it will be done in like 5 days. So it's 4 days to go, and then a 3-day duration record. 7 days. Let's get a little bit more. Cutting it a little fine, but yeah, now we're quite close to the actual launch window. All right. Let's do this. Okay. And we'll do a night launch because it doesn't matter. Huh? Uh, Bobby Carter, why you know? Did the mission training expire? Oh boy. That confuses me. I thought we still had somebody trained from the first round. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to fix that fact. And also fix the build points of the other thing, which are, I think, slightly off. So, and also take a little break because we've been going for about an hour and a half. So, probably see you guys in a few hours or maybe tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.